Hey, my name is Rowan Smith and I want to welcome you to the Training for Trekking podcast. Now, this is the world's very first podcast which is entirely dedicated to helping you train, prepare and conquer your upcoming hike, trek or mountain adventure. So once a week, I'm going to be giving you quality and practical information on the subjects of physical preparation for trekking, dealing with altitude and nutrition on the trail, so you can know everything you need to be doing to have the best chance of a safe, enjoyable and successful adventure. So now you know what you're in for. Let's get into today's episode. All right, hello guys. So today's episode is specifically for hikers who are struggling with some type of pain or discomfort at the moment, who are in the stages of rehab from an injury, or someone who's just trying to mitigate the risk of injury in the future. And the reason I want to talk about this today, and I talk about it a lot on this podcast, I know, but over the last few weeks, I've talked to quite a few hikers who are struggling with some type of pain or injury at the moment, because that's a lot of the people that I talk to on a daily basis. And over the last few weeks, I've actually talked to 5 hikers who've been in a very similar position, very similar situation. And it's something that I really wanted to talk about today. Now, of these 5 hikers, each of them did struggle with some type of pain. Now, a couple had plantar fasciitis, a couple had knee pain, and the other had some ankle issues that they were trying to get on top of, which was plaguing them both on and off the trail, and they're wanting to get on top of this so they could get out and start enjoying their adventures without having to worry about these aches or pains holding them back. And they all told me that they just struggle with this pain, and they said specifically they had tried almost everything they could to get on top of it, but they just couldn't quite kick it. Now, each of them told me that they've either tried physio or physical therapy. Each of them told me they tried stretching, acupuncture, changing shoes, orthotics, massage, and a whole bunch of other things. They talked me through the pain relief things they were using, the different medications they tried. They talked about the supplements they'd used, all of them, and talked me through this massive laundry list of things that they tried and they'd been recommended. And while they were certainly feeling better, they just couldn't quite kick it, because what would happen is they'd get an issue, they'd go see the physio, they'd do all these things, they'd start to feel a little bit better, but the second they went on a bit of a longer hike, it'll all come back. And they were just really frustrated, and they honestly thought they had tried everything. But do you know what was missing from this? Not one of them had mentioned that they'd been trying strength training. At most, a couple of them had said they had done, a few clams and a few squats at one stage as directed by a physio. But in all honesty, that was about it. And I do run into this quite a bit. And I'm probably pretty biased when it comes to strength training, because I'm a really big advocate for it. But that's for good reason. Because I know in the majority of cases, some type of strengthening is going to be beneficial for your aches, pains, or injury prevention. And it doesn't frustrate me, that's the wrong word, but it really worries me. When people go through these journeys, they've got so much frustration, so much anxiety. They feel like they're at the end of their rope with this type of thing, and they have been reaching out for help from professionals or people or friends or whatever it may be. And they think they've done everything. But there's this one glaring hole in this, one thing that, if done right, could potentially make a dramatic difference. But for whatever reason, so many people miss this. So I want to say to you now, if you are going through a pain prevention process, if you're going through an injury recovery process, if you're trying to prevent injury or reduce the risk of injury in the future, and you're not incorporating some type of strengthening work regularly into your week, which is maybe a little bit more than the usual clams and a couple of squats, then I strongly urge you to find some help into how to incorporate this, because the benefits are just so incredibly crazy for pain prevention, injury prevention, for hiking performance, all of that. And really, everyone should be doing some bit. Now, if you are struggling with pain, if you're struggling with injury, I'm not expecting you to go on a full-blown strength program. I'm going to a gym and jumping around, lifting heavy weights or whatever it may be. But there is always an option for you to develop strength in a safe way to help your issue, regardless of what you have. If you can walk and hike, then you should be able to do some type of strengthening. Obviously, there'll be some very, very, very far outliers in there and people in very unique situations who that may not apply to. But for 99% of people, or hikers I should say, it's going to be doable. You just need to find the right support, you need to find the right help, the right advice, and it can do you big, big, big things. So if you're thinking that you have tried everything for your pain prevention, if you are at the end of your rope and you're frustrated that nothing seems to work, ask yourself the question, have you seriously explored strength training? Have you given it your full attention for weeks on end? Have you strung together 4, 5, 6 weeks of consistent training? Have you been following a program which involves a little bit more than just a couple of random clams and squats? And I would argue if you haven't done all those things, there's a big, big, big potential for change just waiting there for you. So please, I would strongly urge you to explore it, and it may be the change you need. So enough on that subject. Bit of food for thought. Hopefully, maybe a few realizations from this, and hopefully, maybe a few changes as well. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've gotten something out of it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.